It was a live stream unlike any other that saw us bring in not one, but two excellent running backs through the NFL draft. And now we are going to take the field with a new rookie class to see what this year's preseason brings to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise rebuild. Welcome, everybody, live for the second time in this series, as we are going to hopefully make this a bit of a tradition, going through preseason, talking about the team, seeing some players we normally wouldn't. In the case of last season, Chuck Johnson looks so good, he becomes the starter. The series is forever changed as he has become the starting quarterback, earned star development, and now it's year two, with a draft that saw us add 5 players with first-round talent, 2 of them at running back, a linebacker, a left tackle, and 2 cornerbacks. Does that equal 6? 6 players with first-round talent. We're not messing around this year. I'm excited about the running backs. I'm excited about Ezra Telfer, our pick at 16 overall, the hidden dev rookie. Really interested if he has greater than star development. Hopeful he was a top 5 talent. But this offseason stream, or this preseason stream, is going to be used to help us kind of figure out the running back pecking order, to see how these guys play, and to follow some down the roster, not recruiting, but roster battles. Could a player like Caleb Davis make an impression, earn a roster spot, eventually get some playing time? We are planting seeds right now, okay? That's what we do in these preseason streams. We'll water them, and who knows which ones will grow, but something's going to happen because of this stream. I'm sure of it. Welcome, everyone watching live on YouTube. If you are new to this series, you can check the description down below and start this series from the very beginning. There is a playlist. Pierre, I appreciate the super chat. Chuck Johnson is must-see TV. Superstar Dev is coming this year. I also hope the 2 young running backs play well and can turn into our very own Sonic and Knuckles. Just missing the Lions O-line. I'm hoping we can develop a good line. We are not on that level, and if anything slows down our progress this season, I think it's just that there are so many developing parts, and it's a tough conference. So whether we make the playoffs or not could come down to how we perform late in just a couple individual games. But the line, mostly young, developing. Tight end, young. Eli Arrington, very good, but also young. Then we have the running backs we're hoping can take over. What does this mean for Trey Benson? I don't know. But I've got to get Joe Johnson on the field. I want to see Cormier play. Benson could end up being the odd man out. But we'll see how things play out, because I will be prioritizing winning, especially early in the year. And if I feel like Benson gives us the best chance to win, he'll probably get more playing time then than later. But let's start the process here with training camp. And I'm only going to do, I think, 1 quarterback drill. I can only do 1 running back deal. And I think everybody's going to want it to be Joe Johnson. Is Benson a good enough catcher to maybe play in the slot? I don't think that he's nearly that good to do it, especially when a lot of our slot stuff is specifically schemed around Eli Arrington. But given Joe Johnson has hidden development, we are going to have to give him the rushing attack drill. Now, I don't want to overlook Cormier entirely because of the normal development, but we have a guy with hidden development and such a great skill set with Joe Johnson. Like, these power backs in Madden aren't normally as athletic and explosive as he is. He was the fastest power back at the combine, and he's actually faster than Cormier. So I think it's less than like a power back and speed back dynamic. Like, I don't think it's quite Montgomery and Gibbs, because Johnson is both the better power back and the more speedy, explosive running back. Cormier is simply well-rounded and is a better pass catcher. But as far as just, you know, handing the ball off, Johnson could be the better running back right now. So you could see a situation where Johnson is halfback 1, Cormier is the third down back, and then we use Trey Benson as kind of the spell back. And something I'm going to test out here in this stream as well as we go through these preseason games is I'm going to mess with the auto subs and try to find something that feels right in terms of when guys are coming off, possibly getting replaced. If we can have a good auto subset, we can handle the workloads better and give guys a chance to split the carries up nicer. I'm not usually a big fan of the two-back formation. Some teams like them a lot, but if you're going to run split back, so like shotgun with running back on either side of the quarterback, you're taking a tight end off the field usually. And usually that's going to be, you know, a blocker. And I don't think that the two running back stuff in Madden works quite well enough. And if I was going to run it, I need better tackles that don't need the tight end on that side. I need tackles that can just kind of dominate, and I'm not there. The number needs to get fixed. How come we're not feeling 34? There's no Walter Payton fans in the chat? I'm seeing multiple people not liking 34. James says 34 is fine. All right, we're going to run a poll here just because I like that YouTube has the poll feature, I think. Still, start a poll. Johnson number 34, something in the 20s. Why is this not working? I have to put 3 options. It wouldn't work until I entered a third option, so I guess you can vote in the poll above, which means you are all on the hook for if anybody gets upset. Also, my vote counts for like 500. Let me do a Pocket Presents Chuck Johnson deal here. So I did restructure one more contract, by the way. I wanted to create some extra cap space so I could add a few more players on the roster in preseason. And some are going to probably make the 53. So I had to open up $5 million by restructuring Trayvon Walker. That allowed us to sign a 74 overall now DeForest Buckner. Allowed us to sign a third quarterback so that Johnson isn't like an injury away from playing in a preseason game when I don't want him to. And then some extra depth at safety and edge rusher. So we don't have a lot of space right now, but I had to restructure one more deal. During the offseason, I was really concerned about how many contracts we have due next year, but it's a lot easier now because at the end of the video, I traded away 3 players that were going to be free agents, freeing up some decisions. Some of those players like ETN's roles are taken up now by younger players. So I don't think that it's nearly as much of an issue looking ahead to year 5. Got gold there at the last minute. Is it canon that Joe and Chuck Johnson are related? Well, it is a very, very common last name. I thought there was somewhere in the game where it showed where the player's hometown is from. I didn't see it. I know they both came out of the SEC. Chuck Johnson, South Carolina, and Joe Johnson, Alabama. So it's conceivable. But I could not see an actual hometown. I think the hometown might only exist for, I don't know, like if it's not a motivation, I don't know where they keep it. I can't remember now if it's like College Football 25 where it shows in their edit player deal or if it is in Madden. And it's neither of their motivations. So I have South Carolina for Chuck Johnson. I don't think that they keep it in traits. It's not in contracts, and it wouldn't be here in apparel or anything. Let me scroll to the bottom of ratings and see if it's buried there, but I highly doubt it. Chuck Johnson right now staring into your soul. He's saying, you haven't hit the like button yet. I can't believe that. Blasphemy. His words, not mine. I'm just the middleman. It's only in the main menu roster editor. Why is it separate? That is so strange. I like continuity. If it's going to be a certain way in one spot, let it be a certain way the whole way through. What happened to ETN? I traded him to Chicago. It is time for us to move forward with our younger running backs. He goes to an offense where he can be the RB1. Wide receiver battle. Let's take on Brian Thomas Jr., who's going to be due a contract at the end of the year. And given what we have going on with Eli Arrington and his whole situation, very leaning towards keeping Thomas around. Oh, what a catch. Oh, he didn't catch it. It's unfortunate here I have to do this drill against JD Short. Especially when Thomas could use a little bit better route running, I guess, to get away from him. Can't they have us line up against one of like the rookies at least? So needless to say, this is actually a really good like advertisement for where JD Short's skills are, because it's very tough to get completions off of him. I got bronze at least there at the end. I'm just doing one try. I'll do 2 tries if I don't get a medal at all. But, yeah, it's fun to throw some of this in here. Sometimes I don't do the training camp just because it does take on some extra time. But doing it here in the stream, I think fits. Let's go Curtis Easley here. He needs more of the boost. He's due a contract soon as well. Favorite NFL quarterback? I'd probably say Lamar. I think that how complete he's become, obviously winning 2 and I guess possibly 3 MVPs. His passing continues to get better, so I'm always a big Lamar guy. Yeah, JD Short's putting in the work here. Joe Burrow's pretty awesome as well. Like with the Bengals at 4-8 and knowing they have to win like every game, he did, you know, for that like 5-game stretch look like the most dangerous quarterback in the league, and his connection with Jamar and Higgins, unstoppable. Like I said on Twitter a while back, the only thing that can stop the Bengals is the month of September. If they can just not get off to a 1-3 start or something again, like they should be a no questions asked playoff team. And missing this year especially, this was a vulnerable year. This is not the best version of the Chiefs that we've seen. You had the Steelers in the playoffs as well. No one really took them seriously as a playoff team, and that could have been the Bengals' spot. But it's their own fault. I haven't done any gear editing. I looked at Joe Johnson. I'm like, hey, he has a look. So I'm just kind of sticking with it. Maybe I'll do some more. If something makes any sense there. Let's go Jelani Swain, the rookie. You haven't missed anything, T. We are just doing some training camp. Haven't gotten into the games yet. Just random discussion right now as we get ready for... Okay, I got to restart because for some reason I have a bad habit when I do this drill of hitting the right stick and just flopping. I don't know why. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm redoing this one. I don't like doing this drill as much. Running around in space. I don't use her in Madden, so like this would be where your linebacker skills come in handy. And I haven't even played like against another user probably a couple of years. I don't do the user defending against the CPU. I do need to pick up one of those multipliers. I'll protect you there, Chuck. Whatever, I'm taking bronze. What do you think y'all record is going to be this upcoming season? I'm expecting this year... I could see it being challenging in the beginning because of the morale situation, because there are a lot of young pieces, and it's a tough conference. I think it's going to come between like 9 or 10 wins again. Let's see. Trench battle. Yeah, let's go Jonathan Moore. The GOAT franchise YouTuber. Thank you, King. And I appreciate that, Landon. Thank you for the super chat. I think Jags go 11-6. I'd be really happy with 11 wins. 11 wins is the new 10 wins with the 17-game schedule, I feel. 11-6 is like, you know, where I'd say you had a really solid season there. 10-7, that's kind of the new 9-7. That makes complete sense, I'm sure. Are you going to do a main Madden 25 series on the main? No. It's just going to be the Jags this year. I don't know when I'll do another main series franchise, but I'm probably going to need to see the game make some changes that excite me to do it. Because right now, I like doing college football 25, and I think if I'm going to sit here and play every single game and go through all these years, I am going to put that time into CFB. I don't think I should do it in 2 series at once because of the time commitment, and I want to be able to go far. So I think I have to pick one, and it's an easy choice right now. Until Madden makes that choice harder, I'm going to stick to the second channel with other ideas where I can move at a different pace. Love how much you've been streaming lately. Been watching since the Cardinals days, and cool to see how the community has grown. Chuck equals JW Unger. Is he the new J-Dub? He's maybe carving out his own path here. Maybe eventually we'll compare other quarterbacks to him. That would be something. Appreciate the super chat there, Chief. And it's been fun to stream more lately. Like when I looked back and I saw that I hadn't streamed on the second channel in like 2 years nearly, it kind of blew my mind because there are certainly ideas I have for streams, and you know, in this case, like adding a stream into the series. I think like doing that stream for the preseason, for one, it was a good stream, and then it introduced the whole Chuck Johnson becoming the starter storyline, introduced us to a couple other players on the team as well, like Heath Tuck. I just think it made it more fun. And this entire last season of videos, there was like a newfound excitement that probably wouldn't have been there otherwise. Not on the same level. I feel like there's a lot of good momentum behind the series right now because I've been moving faster. We have fun stories to track. Eli Arrington, you know, doesn't like me. Different things make it compelling. Main series where scenarios aren't, would you change that about me? Yes. If I'm going to have a series where I'm playing every game and whatnot, I need the right game. As a Jags native and fan, I want even more Brian Thomas Jr. next year, but I'm extremely biased. I think we're going to get an increase in our pass production this year. I know we were closer to the bottom last season. I still need to see if there's a quarter length change that needs to happen, but I know when we watched that entire Houston game that we had like 115 plays. It was actually very close to a simulation length. So I have to just make sure our play counts are in a good spot. I usually am terrible in this drill. This is like a top 10 percentile outcome for me, as we're going to finish perfectly. Do I collect any football cards? Actually, I do have a bunch, but they're mostly from when I grew up. Then I got a bunch from a friend in like 2012, and not much since then. So it's mostly mid-2000s, early 2010s. I have some stuff in there that I was going through the other day, because I have a big box of them that's taking up space in my closet, and I want to get rid of, I don't need all these cards, so I picked up a binder here. I haven't filled it yet, because I need to just, sort through what I have and decide, okay, what makes it into the binder? Maybe I buy a tin for, other cards that I think are just cool to hold on to. But, if I don't have some sort of emotional attachment to, the card or the player or any memory based on it, then I'm just going to get rid of all those cards and keep what, classic Viking stuff that I like and different favorite players. So I don't really consider myself a collector. That's where I consider myself more of a collector. In the back there. But I got some stuff. Sorry for the Vikings' loss to the Rams. Me too. Me too. Are 1980s football cards worth anything these days? I believe the 80s are some of the most mass-produced cards that exist. I remember, I've gotten a lot of boxes, and it's oh, you can get all these cards, and when I was younger, that was a selling point, but a lot of it was just duplicates from the 80s. I think it's literally the stuff they have the most of. How much of that backlog you played? Line is 5.5%. I don't want to talk about it. It's probably above 5.5, but yeah, there's some work to do. It would help if I didn't want to play. If a game is 50 plus hours, I probably want to play it, which means it's going to take me 7 years to beat it. Having to cover Eli Arrington is not fun. And I got the GOAT Chuck Johnson throwing to him. Recently found I have a Bo Jackson card. I'm a Bama fan, but mom is Auburn and thought it was a cool moment when I found it. Yeah, different cards, different greats are cool to run into. I was going through some cards, and it was neat to see different card art. Sometimes they had a cool holographic background, or it's a player who became a coach or something. So, if I run through my cards and I find a Dan Campbell or something, I'd probably want to keep the coolest Dan Campbell card that I had. All right. The poll says 34-1. 34-1. Maybe it wouldn't have won if there were two choices, but I couldn't do two. I don't want to keep covering Arrington. Stick a practice squad guy out there. Stick me out there. Just let me make a couple plays. If you never did the stream that got Johnson the starting job, give me that. Do you think there was any chance he would have earned it otherwise? Extremely small. I think if we hadn't played well and Trevor continued to struggle, then I might have just said, let's try something out. Or if Trevor got hurt. But because we did it in the preseason, we got the whole year with Chuck Johnson mania. And he played, pretty well basically from the start. Obviously, there were mistakes and stuff, but I feel like he didn't have these, awful games. It was just like one or two plays in these games where it's like, all right, that's not very good. But then we get late in the season against all those playoff teams, and we rolled. Any thoughts on teams you're thinking of for an MLB The Show 25 rebuild? Yeah, I'm trying to be a lot more proactive in thinking about the series this year because I really dragged my feet a year ago. I started up the Cardinals when it was like 2 weeks after the game came out. I hadn't really planned on the series. It just kind of came about. And I don't like the way it did. These are all 6 rookies here. But right now, my lean is definitely toward like the Rays. I say the Rays are my top team. Trey Benson's hurt. He's not playing in the first preseason game. You want a little storyline action there? Benson doesn't play the preseason opener. The rookies play with the starters. And we go from there. So here are the players that we need to be watching out for in these preseason games. Thank you to the 800 people nearly here that are about to watch some exhibition football. That's what I'm talking about. We have Caleb Davis. He is going to wear number 14. He's a slot receiver. Solid route runner for a 70 overall, 85 catching. He will have a chance to make the roster. Then I'd say linebacker. Keep an eye on 52 Devon Lewis, 55 Chuck Dalton. Very similar players. I think they have the same archetype. And we'll let the play kind of separate the two. But I give the edge to Dalton being younger. And a couple areas have him a little bit higher. Cornerback. We got Ezra Telfer and Stanley Billups, who wears number 30. Rookie corners that are fighting for some playing time. Even if it's not for playing time in week 1. There's going to be changes throughout the season depending on how our year goes. And then number 29, Benji Cormier. He's going to start. Okay, he was our first round pick. We'll give him the first reps of preseason. But will he be able to hold off the hype that has this chat excited with Joe Johnson? Cormier is more well-rounded. Joe Johnson, I would say, he's well-rounded in terms of being power and speed. Doesn't have the pass catching. So I guess you could say both are missing an element. I'm probably not going to upgrade receiving back too much for Johnson right now. That might be more of a year 2 thing. I want to focus on what he does best right now. So we add on juke, spin, a little ball carrier vision. That vision right now is an 82. I think the vision for Cormier could be a little bit higher. And that is one rating that does matter a lot in these slow sim series. 83 is not a ton higher. So we'll have to see just how each one plays. And if anyone looks significantly better than the other. Why is 29 bad? If it's not 20, 22, 23, 24, 26, or 28, is it just automatically bad? And yes, the really high juke on Benji, if the CPU can use it well, that's obviously really promising. Benson should never touch the field. Joe all the way. Also, why not keep Chuck Johnson as a focus player to maximize potential? I'll probably have him as a focus player again, but just have all the rookies in there right off the bat. Great upgrade here for Jonathan Moore. Normal dev, but the pass rushing kind of speaks for itself. Coming off a year where I thought he was pretty solid, 5.5 sacks, 49 tackles. This is on 899 downs played, so basically playing majority of the vast majority of the snaps. Keep in mind too, though, at defensive tackle, an 84 overall is probably a $15 million a year player. Defensive tackles and tight ends make so much money in this game. Chuck Johnson gets some vision, break sack, throw accuracy short, and throw on the run. And he's about to get another upgrade that we're going to be able to use. Where does Cooper play? Still edge. Opposite of Josh Hines-Allen. Chuck Dalton. Let's go into coverage because that's what we're definitely lacking now with Aluakin and his regression. And yes, I added DeForest Buckner just to have some extra depth at defensive tackle. It wasn't very strong outside of Vea and Moore. What's the plan for the RBs? Well, in this first game, we're just going to start off with Cormier with the starters. And then Johnson will, depending on how he plays, how many touches he gets, Johnson could get starter reps as well. They're both going to start, or get playing time here in preseason. It's just a matter of the order of things. We're going to start with the highest drafted Cormier. And let the games begin, everybody. And please leave a like if you haven't, and make sure you subscribe as well. Those of you new to the channel, new to the Jaguars franchise, buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride, if this class is any indication. Oh, yeah, I signed another quarterback, too. A third quarterback, just for preseason purposes. Let me make sure that Cormier is listed as, that. All right. I'll skip it right to our first snaps on offense then. Right after the Saints burn up a bunch of time and kick a field goal. Let's see how we look to kick the season off. Any UDFAs got a shot this season? I wouldn't say too many this year as Cormier picks up a couple yards. The draft class was good. I don't think that any specific spot really has a UDFA with a chance to break out in a major way here. And Cormier working out to the 47. I thought Thomas was just hurt there. He was kind of... Oh, wait, he is. They were interrupting his grimacing in pain. Kenny Pickett, not a mentor, no. But I think that he could be a solid QB2 if something happened to Johnson. And yeah, maybe injuries play a role in this stream. Can certainly happen. I like that we're using the running back a lot already. And I'm also waiting to see if there's any rotation. He's carried 4 times on the drive. Johnson almost caught it. So yeah, that was like 4 straight carries, didn't come off. We'll watch some defense as well. But right now it is running back o'clock. Johnson, incomplete. Curtis Easley, intended. Again, Easley is a free agent at the end of the year, so have to make the call on if he's our long-term tight end. If he gets a second deal. We're going to come up short there with McCaffrey. All right, let's settle in with a little bit of defense now. Panthers are not on the schedule. No, we played them last year. I believe now the setup on the schedule is you play rotating divisions plus a team that finished with your same standings in your division. So like a third place team plays a third place team, I believe is how it works. Oh, come on, guys. That's sloppy. Who's wearing 13 and taking carries here? What have I missed? What's your plan on the running back splits? You haven't missed too much. We're in the first quarter of game 1, Leo. But the plan right now is to, get a look at the rookie running backs. Definitely going to give Joe Johnson a chance to show he's ready to play right away. If he's going to have that hidden dev, really high ceiling, have the best blend of power and speed that I've seen in a while, especially for a mid-round running back, it's kind of his job to lose. But I see us using a committee this year. But I'll be adapting it as we see how guys play and what our record is. Oh boy, a big gain for New Orleans, taken inside the 10. Is Davis Mills their starter? This is their plan? It's working. Although we're in the second quarter, so is this the backups coming in already? I sent ETN to the Bears. That is a touchdown, marching right down the field. I'm seeing some starters, some backups, I think, on the field. So we might need to edit the depth chart quick and get our first look then at Joe Johnson. Both running backs will get chances to play with the starters, of course. All right, so Johnson up top here. And I'm still cool with Cormier getting more carries in with the backups. McCaffrey, Tuck, Caleb Davis. I'm going to have him play in the slot. Joe Wilder, I do like him getting snaps. Harrison, Kramer, Bigby, Johnson. And then extra snaps for development in the case of Jelani Swain. We don't need Martin Cooper to play a whole lot. There's not much he has to prove to us at in this case. I did sign Tyreek Capers. He is a young player that could have a chance to make the team if you're looking for more down-the-roster players to just track. I signed Jimmy Winslow for some depth at defensive tackle. Just about ready to get us back on the field. All right, so this is going to be Joe Johnson time right now. Wish this didn't take so long to set up. All right, we're good. Kenny Pickett leads us out. And hopefully Pickett gives us some good looks at these young receivers at the same time. Do I have a plan on using all three? As Johnson carries and gains 3. Yeah, I still think Trey Benson's going to have a chance at being part of the plan early on. Especially as we're just focused on, winning. So if I feel he's the best in week 1, then he's probably going to get some carries. If we, aren't in good shape a few games into the year, then you gear it more toward the rookies. But I don't see Benson getting like the majority regardless, unless there's like injury. So a quick drive there for the offense. What overall is Brian Thomas Jr. right now? 84-85. And the contract he's looking for is pretty reasonable, so I might want to sign him early, because I don't think I want to let him go. Here's the defense now. Yeah, we haven't really thrown the ball a lot when we were very pass-heavy a year ago. Same exact playbook, same exact game plan. Davis Mills on second down, airs it out, and that's one-handed. And he's off to the races. He's got 2 touchdowns. Who is this guy? Alex McCree. I mean, one-handed? Are you serious? Who are you? 72 overall, so probably not going to become available. He's actually not that fast at 87 speed. Solid route running. Might have been a late round draft pick of theirs. Looked faster than 87 running away from our defense. All right, Kenny Pickett with his gloves indoors. Hands off, Joe Johnson. Gain of 7. Johnson up the middle. There's a good run, grinding his way to the 37. I appreciate them just handing off the ball a lot to these rookie running backs. One after another. Well, it's not looking so good there, football gamer dad. The Saints are beating us down right now. Thankfully, it's only preseason, but I'd like for us to compete. Johnson's off the field, so a few carries does bring in some rotation. I'll probably do even more with the auto subs from each game to the next, just to see if I can find something I really like. This is a good time to test things out. Nate Bell knows Kenny can't throw. We got to get a couple looks at these receivers. We can't just run it every play, but we're determined to. Because I think if I had it my way with the auto subs, 3 straight touches, I think should be enough for a rotation. I guess not in like every case. But I definitely want some more rotation than we've been seeing. Play quarterback 3. Maybe we'll throw it more if we get him out there. Kenny Pickett. No! What is that? You'll never be the next Chuck Johnson, Kenny. We look terrible. Only Chuck Johnson knows how to throw to Joe Wilder. You know what? This could be on Joe, guys. This could be on Joe Wilder. His eyes are closed, and the ball just goes between his hands. That's on Joe Wilder. Hey, you got to knock the rust off here in preseason. You better do it quick, because that is embarrassing. Alex McCree scored again. What are we doing? This is bizarre. 31-0, guys. Joe Johnson. That was kind of fun. Well, they don't call him Kenny Touchdown. Exactly. Pickett. What a name for a quarterback. Johnson, head of steam. I feel like he actually got up to full speed that time. All 93 points of it. Throw it, Kenny. Hey, Johnson makes the catch and gets 5 yards. Got a notification today. Uh-oh. In stride to McCaffrey, not bad. I saw that the Pelicans game is postponed because of snow in New Orleans. I didn't even know that was possible. I mean, it's the same storm that came through here in Texas, but is there a lot on the ground? I'm sure if there's anything, like you're not equipped to really handle it. And usually at the temperatures, southern states get snow. You get that freeze-thaw loop. That really sucks. Quick pass to the middle. And there is Davis, the rookie. Not rookie. Close, though. It's Kenny Pickett. He completes inside the 10. We can score, right? There ain't no way New Orleans got 8 to 10 inches of snow. Not from this storm. There ain't no 8 inches in Pensacola. Are you serious? It can't be. Four to six in Tallahassee. That is okay. There must have been pockets of that storm that really dumped a lot of snow. Okay, Joe Wilder is playing terribly today. You got to turn around and open your eyes. These are fundamental parts of the game. We didn't even get an inch here. Not enough to cover the ground. Luke McCaffrey has the touchdown. Kenny Pickett gets us on the board finally. Thank you, Kenny. Bro got possessed by Mark Andrews. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's tough. That's really tough. Joey Thurston's going to get out there. He's thirsting for some playing time right now. We're going to get Cormier a few more touches as Johnson has gotten quite a bit in this game. And then we'll watch defensive drive. Joe Wilder needs to wake up. Thurston finds Heath Tuck. First down. Now, I can see KC area getting 15 inches, drifting with over 2 feet. Most snow I've seen in my life. Man, I'm trying to think the most that I've ever seen. Close to 2 feet. I mean, there were some really bad years. And actually, some of the worst that I had experienced wasn't in, like, the winter months. It was in April. We were getting April blizzards like once a year, and it was so, I'm so sick of it, man. Like, the weather really got to me in the winter when it's freezing. See, I remember growing up, and at least like Halloween, you could walk around and be mostly fine. But then like as an adult, like every Halloween was like 30 degrees. And I'm like, I don't remember it being this way when I was a kid. And so, you know, the winter really starts there mid-October, and it just doesn't end. It doesn't end all through football season. Everybody's getting ready for baseball. I'm looking at 8 inches of snow. How do you do it? I couldn't do it anymore. But most snow I've probably ever seen is close to 2 feet. Why did I decide I wanted 3 running backs? Well, it was mostly, I thought the Benson situation was a good one given ETN's regression. And then in the draft, I knew I wanted 1. I got 2. Because we had a lot of extra picks. Was able to move up. And I knew that I could sort it out later. Thurston, 4th and 18. Make this play, make the team. Oh, practice squad for you. I said we watch another drive. Let's do it. Somebody stop Davis Mills from running up the score on our defense, please. Are we going to see a video about the Vikings season? I don't plan on recording one, no. I've thought about getting, like, doing more content that's more NFL season related, but takes time and don't want to put the time into it right now with everything else I'm trying to do. Nice tackle. That's Chuck Dalton, the rookie linebacker, wearing 55. He's fighting for playing time. Lewis, wearing 52, is fighting for playing time. Up the middle and stopped. Opinion on the Commanders' run? I think it's a great story. I mean, Jaden Daniels has been pretty incredible from start to finish this year. And it's caught a lot of people by surprise. It's kind of strange. I don't think it was the Caleb Williams effect, but even with the Heisman Trophy and his success at LSU, going number 2, being the starter right away, I feel like he flew under the radar for a lot of people, including myself. I guess it was hard to picture the Commanders being good, let alone this good. That's a catch for Cormier. Yeah, Balky got fired today, not 2 weeks ago. So I'm really curious what's going on behind the scenes with, you know, head coaches will sometimes not want to work with certain GMs. And Balky's track record is not exactly strong. And he's a guy who's always seemed to latch on to more power than he really deserves to. And I think for head coaches, that's not really attractive. Screen, Cormier picks up 5. Liam Cohen turned down the job. Is that reported? So, of available candidates, who have the Jags interviewed as McCaffrey takes it to the end zone? And Thurston puts together a very good drive. Luke McCaffrey trying to make sure we don't get rid of him quite yet. And that might be game 1 wrapped up. Does Robert Saleh have meetings with them? For real? That'd be interesting. So we know that Ben Johnson is with the Bears. Aaron Glenn is with the Jets. Vrabel's with the Patriots. The Raiders are still a big domino that has to fall. Cowboys as well. I hope they don't hire Spags. I'm not sure Spags is really considered a head coach candidate by most anymore. Because he had the Rams job years ago when it would have been hard to see anybody succeeding with some of those teams. Looking like Brian Flores is staying with the Vikings. Yeah, I know he interviewed with the Jets, but they went with Glenn. So I don't know if he had any other interviews lined up or that he could get more. All right, so running back comparison. Joe Johnson, 12 carries. Cormier had 6. Johnson broke 2 tackles. Cormier none. Had a higher yards per carry. Cormier caught 3 passes and Johnson caught 1. Jimmy Winslow had 2 TFLs on defense. Okay, that's something to hold on to, I guess. 1 down, 2 to go. We should have more quarterback run plays. I don't usually do a lot of them in series like this because they're like very situational when I would want to break those out. We have an injury. I do wonder if that could be Brian Thomas. We have a player meeting as well, an OC conversation. I know you guys love the storylines. Heath Tuck actually hurt right now, torn labrums, so he could miss the start of the year. If I put him on IR, I forget when he can return, but he'd have to eat up a roster spot. All right, let's see the offensive coordinator. What are they talking about? Ready for the press conference this week? Oh, I thought I'm actually talking to you. I just got baited into talking to the media. I thought we're just talking ball. Next question. Actually, I gotta go. We gotta wrap this up. A quarterback position battle because Kenny Pickett like threw a couple good passes. So I did the quarterback rating last year, and according to people in the chat after that, that's actually overall rating. Is that really the case? Because I thought it was actually like quarterback passing rating. And Johnson was better. And when I said Johnson won, they're like, no, that's wrong. So I'm saying that again. I'm going to pick Johnson if it comes up. It would be nice to get something to go well where I could get a morale boost after losing some. All right, we're going to the practice field. Who we talking to? That's Josh Hines Allen. My agent's telling me that my personality, something negative. Say the line. Say the line, Josh. I know I'm intense. Would you change that about me? What are the chances that would you change that about me makes it into Madden 26? I'm actually like really curious what happens with this going into next year because it has not gotten great feedback. I think there's potential if you fix the writing, you don't have trick questions, you don't give me, a quiz. You just create more realistic storylines that make sense and aren't confusing and feel good to interact with. I don't think the entire thing needs to disappear. But some of it does. Like, what do you think your quarterback is doing well? Is it his completion percentage? Is it his yards? Like, you lost me at that point. Devin Lloyd not playing in game 2. Offense is more intact. All right, we're upgrading a guy. I want to see awareness go up, okay? I really felt that 61 awareness that Joe Wilder showed up in that last game. Come on, Joe. No awareness boost for him. Game 2. I'm going to adjust the formation, not formation subs. The issue with this, I normally like formation subs, but it doesn't work well with custom playbooks. And I don't use stock playbooks, so it's kind of a useless feature for me specifically. All right, let's change the running back sub out to 83 and the sub in to 86 and see what that does in this game. So game 2 is going to be half the game with the starters. And I think we're just going to probably rotate the running backs like every drive or every 2 drives if they don't get a lot of touches on that first one. So we'll give Trey Benson a chance. We signed him. We'll see a few carries, but we're going to mostly focus on the rookies, of course. Against the Minnesota Vikings. Arrington's actually the running back right now. He's going to sweep to the outside. Pick up 5. I do sub in 92, out 86, and it works great. Yeah, I think what everybody's looking for might be a little bit different. So I know like when I'm looking at settings and whatnot, I realize I have to kind of do it all myself just because I'm specific in what I think is right. Trey Benson. That was a nice carry. See, like, I believe we could have all 3 used to a degree as Trey Tucker one-handed catch tries to make the team. But imagine this is a possibility. Joe Johnson is RB1. Benji Cormier is third down back 1. And then we have auto subs in a spot where I list Benson as the halfback 2. So he simply comes in when one of the other guys is tired. That would, I think, give most of the work to the rookies, and Benson kind of just gives them a rest. Johnson slings it to Arrington after Dallas Turner almost took the ball away from us. Yeah, they made the Vikings super OP in Madden. It's actually great because during the Kirk Cousins era, they made the Vikings terrible. So this is way better. They always give the Vikings like the highest yards per pass attempt, which probably makes it easy to develop quarterbacks with that playbook because they average 9 yards an attempt and throw it all the time. I appreciate that, Rodney. I think that the Jags series has been everything so far that I wanted it to be. That's Tucker inside the 15. You know, consider the Raiders series. It went 4 long years, and then I added on a few extra videos that kind of deviated the formula. We are entering year 4 already with the Jags. So, timeline-wise, you know, I love already feeling like we're in the heart of the series. We're already on to year 4. Joe Johnson checks in. He's going to run it right up the gut and into the end zone. Joe Johnson. Those touchdowns, too. That's a good source of experience. Good-looking play there. Do I have my CFB sliders posted anywhere? I might have given them out on Twitter or something recently. Or there's one of the recent episodes. I don't have anything on hand. They haven't changed, though, in like a month, if that helps. Ooh, that was close. Playing the Vikings here is a good test for our secondary players. Who you got winning the Super Bowl this year? I'm worried Kansas City just finds a way to get there again and they actually pull off the three-peat. Like, I was talking with a friend when, like, the playoffs had barely started, and I said, like, the worst outcome for me in terms of, like, entertainment factor and what I'm interested in watching, the worst outcome is Chiefs-Eagles. And we're, like, they're both hosting the championship games. If it's Chiefs-Eagles, I'm going to have to find something to do during the game. I don't want to watch that. Caught. First down. Between the roughing the passer calls on Mahomes and watching tush pushes every 5 seconds, I don't know if I could actually handle watching it. Ooh, in the backfield. I got a hot take for you guys. I don't think, rule-wise, that there's actually a legitimate reason to ban the tush push. But I'm in favor of banning it simply because I don't like watching it. Down goes J.J. McCarthy. I just don't like watching it. There's nothing actually wrong with the play, though. Uh-oh. Trayvon Walker's coming off. Purely from watchability standpoint. But how do you legally word, like, what are you banning specifically? That's a whole other can of worms. Hey, Kane, Commanders fan here. Can't believe what's happening to my team right now. Just enjoying the ride. It's a pretty good ride. You know, first-year head coach, first-year quarterback, so much new around that team, including ownership. And here you are, a game away from the Super Bowl. All you got to do is beat a team you already beat before. Granted, Kenny Pickett played most of that game. But if you can keep Saquon to under like 110 yards, like, I know that's a lot. It's the Saquon 190-yard games that'll kill you. The 110 games you can survive. Yeah, the Eagles are obviously excellent at it, and it's not a play everybody does. The Eagles have perfected it. They have the perfect, well, they had the perfect center, the perfect quarterback for it. I'm sure having 340-pound Mekhi Becton as right guard doesn't hurt. There's nothing actually wrong with the play, but I'm willing to say I just don't like it. Commanders and Chiefs, would you like that? It would be tough to picture a rookie quarterback beating Patrick Mahomes' chance at a three-peat, but I would take it. Of course, I'm going to sit here hoping for Bills Commanders. You either get the first rookie quarterback to win a Super Bowl or the Bills to finally do it after not appearing in the Super Bowl since the Jim Kelly era. Do I really think that both road teams are going to win their conference championships, though? My main hope with Bills-Chiefs, obviously I want the Bills to win. No hiding that. But I don't want it to be one of these games. Like, I feel like the Chiefs recently, they make you play this, like, slow, drag-it-out game. It almost feels like the Steelers. Like, you could be the best offense in the world, but you go into Pittsburgh in, like, November, and all of a sudden you're playing this sloppy 19-16 game, It's like they bring you down to their level. And I feel the Chiefs have kind of become that. I need it to be a shootout. If the Chiefs win, I want it to be in a shootout. Win different now. I've seen you win these ugly games where there's 3 total touchdowns. I want something different. If Mahomes throws 5 touchdowns, fine. If Mahomes throws 138 yards, 1 touchdown, gets 3 roughing the passer calls, Travis Kelce has 11 catches, and none of them are contested, that's what I want to avoid. Basically, the Texans game. If I have to watch the Texans game again, I'm going to start playing Guitar Hero at halftime. True story, actually happened during the Vikings-Rams game. I had the game in my ears still, but I'm like, no, I can't do it. Time to fire up some Guitar Hero. I'm a longtime fan of the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. Took a long break from it, so I'm not the player I once was, but I still love the games. Uh-oh, Johnson. Better hope we can protect him. This line is going to be a work in progress. Yeah, Tyler Hashtag's a pretty good player. Johnson. Caught. The inside give, and Johnson gets caught up. Now, Vikings' defensive line is kind of eating us up right now, and that's the concern, is that we don't develop fast enough to win as much as we need to this year. Like, if we open the season not playing all that well, and we're like 2-4, 2-5, I don't know if we can recover to get the amount of wins we need in the AFC. I really want to see us get off to a better start. But our roster is not optimized for let's win as many games as we can right now because of how much youth there is. Jeez. How does the chat feel about Bryce Young and the Panthers now? Certainly better than we did second week of September. Broken up. I don't know what happened. He went through like the entire Geno Smith career arc, but like in 2 months instead of 8 years. Johnson. No. Who is that? They have their own player named Johnson that's ruining plays. I know that's not Tom Johnson. Whoops. The first user play of the series is a punt. We're not really slowing down JJ, are we? Yeah, I think Panthers fans, though, should be feeling pretty good about the way Bryce looked down the stretch. I don't know what happened in the beginning and then into the season later, because he did not resemble the same player. They were right to bench him. They were right to stick with him when he came back. Just kind of a bizarre deal. 3rd down and 8. Go get him now on the screen. Nice play. What happened in the first game? How'd the Rooks play? Johnson and Cormier both had some good moments. Luke McCaffrey looked really good. Joe Wilder looked like he didn't sleep the night before. He was lost. A couple really bad plays on his part. Give Bryce a receiver like T. Higgins or Garrett Wilson. I think that should be the goal. Try to go get the best receiver you can this year. Johnson intercepted. It should have been. I think the T. Higgins bidding war is about to get insane. Because, like, every fan base right now is sitting here like, we need to go get T. Higgins as Chuck Johnson airmails a pass. And it's like, you know, y'all can't all have him, right? Like, he's going to get a massive deal. Because there's going to be, like, 7 teams trying to get him. And some of those teams are going to have more cap space than they know what to do with. In the case of Carolina, like, you need that alpha guy. So I think T. Higgins is going to get near top 5 money. And I don't think that's totally, like, wrong. Like, remember when Christian Kirk got his deal and it's like, wait a minute here. I think T. Higgins' contract is going to, like, do that same thing. But T. Higgins, different caliber of player. Who would I want to see get DK Metcalf? Where do I think Metcalf would be best utilized? If he were available, I guess there's no reason for me to think that he would be available. Arrington. DK Metcalf. Where could he specialize in running his verticals and his quick stuff? Just doing a couple things really well. Where would I want to see him go? Arrington to the end zone. Nice drive, guys. I'd like to see Metcalf play with someone like Josh Allen. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I've been kind of waiting for that moment in the postseason where it's like, maybe the Bills still need like a dominant receiver out there. I'm a big Amari Cooper guy, always have, but they're not really using him. He gets like 3 targets a game. They're using everybody and spreading the football around really well. And it hasn't been a problem. But I'm still waiting for that moment. And maybe if they get in a shootout, you know, that's going to be a tougher game, I think, for the Bills potentially. Unless Cooper can still have those types of games he did not even that long ago, honestly. Metcalf to the Packers would be great. I disagree. I think that the Packers should look in a different direction, like Deontay Johnson maybe. Chargers, Kane? Yeah, I think that would be... I kind of want a higher volume passing attack, I think. Quentin Johnston is like the... He's like bargain bin DK Metcalf right now. I want Metcalf to go somewhere where he could be in a spot to catch a little bit more volume. DK to the Steelers. I think Pickens would, oh God, not Vita Vea. We'd be seeing, if the Steelers had DK Metcalf, we'd also be seeing like George Pickens nearing a contract without getting the volume. Like the writing would be on the wall there. That whole situation there, it does always, it feels like that could blow up at any minute. Like any day, I could feel George Pickens requesting a trade from there. In a league where receivers are so coveted and whatnot, like, I don't see him signing there. I think he's going to watch T. Higgins sign for a massive deal here in a month or two. And he's going to say, I'm cool. Let me be a free agent. Hey, Kane, glad you're live with us while we were stuck at work. It's much appreciated. Go, Chuck, go. Joe Johnson, halfback 1. Thank you for the super chat, Jonathan. Yeah, the chat's trying to rip away DK Metcalf from the Seahawks. For all I know, that could have been started by like a bitter Cardinals fan or something like that. I don't really see, unless Metcalf specifically wanted out, why that would be the case. Intercepted, Sergio Baxter, and the Jaguars will take over. I thought he made more plays down the stretch in those games last year, so didn't feel great about the pick in the first half of the year, but then things came around. And here he jumps in front to take that ball. Yeah, I think Amari can still play as well. I think it's kind of bizarre how they traded for him but didn't really give him a big role. But he's handled it really well. Like, from all the quotes I've read from him, he's just kind of happy to be winning, which he hasn't done a lot of it throughout his career. Even in Dallas, it felt like they were always clawing and scratching just to, like, get into the playoffs. But now he's got more of a, you know, strong division champion team. Nice catch. No timeouts, though. Time for 1, maybe 2 plays. Johnson let it fly. Sideline shot out of bounds. And now they're going to throw it to the end zone probably. Johnson gonna launch this one 60+ yards in the air, and it's knocked down. And that's gonna be it for the starters here in game 2 with the Jags. So let's see what I hope it lets me out of here because I have to edit the depth chart. I think it will after this play. Yep. All right, so I want to see the running back carries and everything. 6 for Benson, 4 for Johnson, none for Cormier in this game. Why is Arrington hurt? When that happen? He has an injury icon. 7 catches, 94 yards, and a touch. It's not like a mega long-term injury, but we might not have Arrington to start the year. Broken collarbone in real life, I think, ends up being close to a 4 to 6 week injury. You should all know that I have all of my medical knowledge derived from football and baseball injury recovery timelines. Not exactly an expert. All right, so let me get some of the backups in there again. I want to see more snaps from Jimmy Winslow. He had a couple TFLs in that previous game. Devin Lloyd's hurt. I'm okay with injuries having more of a factor. I think that it gives me something to manage around, and I like the challenge and having the chance to see more of the roster. And honestly, the injuries always appear worse than they really are because most are end of game. All right, Caleb Davis, try to make the roster, buddy. All right, I think we are good to go. Can you show all your gameplay sliders? The magic of this, Derek, is that I don't have to use sliders. This is default all pro. If you just trust the process, you will get all kinds of different games. High scoring, low scoring. If you want to make any changes, you could, but I've never been one to do it in these series. Shouldn't say never. I've edited like halfback blocking a couple times. Wow. Just torched Billups downfield. That's our second cornerback we drafted. Carl Edwards got by him. But yeah, I don't think you really have to do anything with the sliders in this game. I enjoy the gameplay balance where it is. Kind of think a Keenan or D-Hop would be good for Baltimore. So you're thinking like Anquan Bolden back in their Super Bowl run with Joe Flacco. I agree. Oh boy. Merriweather flying across the 50. A good run back. I'm sorry, that's Telfer. That's Ezra Telfer. Not. I had Merriweather listed as the returner, I thought. No, he's down there helping block. That's our first round cornerback. Pretty impressive return. So Cormier is going to get some work, keeping an eye on the rotation. Kenny Pickett, Joe Wilder held on to it. Much better than the previous game already. Running inside, it's Cormier, bouncing off. That's a good play. What I want to try to do before I get to the week 1 stuff, or too far into the year, is get a list of the milestones I can have our players chase for that big XP, because it is such a greater deal in this game than it ever has been, and just keep them in mind for trying to develop these players, if it's within reach, whether it be tackles on defense, sacks, receptions. I need to have all those milestones cataloged. Kenny Pickett on third down, wide open, Luke McCaffrey. So those two have a connection. I might have to give McCaffrey some wide receiver, not wide receiver 1, but like starting reps ahead of Tucker just to see. I don't think the knee was down there of Cormier, but the Vikings are going to try to score a touchdown. They review it and reverse it. Cormier again, through the middle, gets the first. After this drive, we will get back to Joe Johnson. Seeing a lot of players have to exit. Yeah, if there were like a really in-depth management style game for American football, I know I would really enjoy that. Out of the park, but football basically, or Football Manager. Everyone tells me to get into Football Manager, but I don't think that's the starting point for someone not familiar with the sport very much. What I need to do is just sit down and play some FIFA. Work from there. Maybe watch a couple matches over the summer when there's no football on. Over the middle, dropped. got a few FIFA games over here. I have a few FIFA games. How about, this cover's super faded as the pass is overthrown from Kenny Pickett. This is the FIFA World Cup from 2006 game. This is the FIFA 2014 World Cup on the 360. And actually, this one's never been opened. Doesn't have the cellophane, but this is actually sealed on here. And then I saw this steelbook sometime. And I'm like, yeah. FIFA 13 steelbook. And then they have, like, I have some newer ones because they put them on PlayStation Plus or whatever. Like, I do want to bring more sports stuff. I'm doing some things different this year. We'll see if I can get around to trying out other games. I know the new PGA 2K game comes out end of February, and I liked what I saw from the trailer they dropped. The game looked really good. What I consider out of the park as a series. What I should do this year is drop an out of the park video. I can't really commit to series or like say I would do a series on games I'm not super familiar with, but like one-offs, I need to try more of those to see what else I could potentially bring to the channel. Couple of things I wanted to do this year. I want to do an NFL Street 2 series, which that's going to be a February objective for me, by the way. In January, I wanted to do like the Road to Glory stuff. I still need to wrap up Miami. And then my plan was to do a stream of NFL Street 2, gauge some interest there, and get some ideas for customizing a roster. And then we run through NFL Street 2, similar to how I did NFL Street 1, but probably less videos. I don't think it'll be a 16-part series. I'd like to keep it under 10 if possible. But I also have to figure out, am I playing the NFL Street 2 challenge mode, where I develop my team and take players from other teams, or do I try the player mode? I guess the team one seems more interesting, but maybe I could find something to do. Maybe even like a one-off with the be a pro mode or whatever it is. That's NHL. What do they call it in NFL Street 2? Own the city? I'll have to look. Now let's get Joey out there for this drive. Nice throw and catch for Caleb Davis. Yep, Joe Johnson's played. He had a really nice touchdown. And he's about to get probably the rest of this game. Would I consider Out of the Park as a live stream series? Possibly. Like, I might stream it just to have people help me out and get more familiar. But as far as, like, streaming it regularly for a series, I don't know. The only game I can think of right now that I actually want to do a stream series of is All-Pro 2K8. I haven't done a season of that in a long time. And I feel like if I were to stream it on the main channel and then cut that up into videos for the second channel, that's how I want to do it. Right up the middle now. Here's Joe Johnson. Very quick cuts. Love the hurdle thrown in there. His stats for a power back are incredible, yes. He has so much more top-end speed and explosiveness. Oh, almost, Kenny. That first step quickness does, set him apart. Thank you for continuing the drive, Davis. Getting you closer to a potential spot like you did NFL head coach 09. Yeah, like that. And maybe that's how I'd even do head coach 09 again, potentially. But, I don't have a lot of big plans for new stuff on the main channel this year. But something I might do, especially in these like summer non-NFL season months, is, a few streams of playing all-pro football and cutting that up for videos, or NFL head coach. I think the time to revisit those games is during the off-season, when Madden isn't new and there isn't really anything big to start. I like what I see there from Davis on these quick ones. Yeah, unfortunately, Head Coach 06 is an older game. Not that I couldn't do PS2, but I don't know. I haven't played much of it compared to 09. Back when the first Head Coach game came out, I only played a little bit of it. I was really young, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And I didn't play the game long. Any baseball teams interest you for your next MLB The Show rebuild? As I talked about earlier, the top of the list right now, tight coverage and picked, is probably Tampa. I like the challenge of the AL East after doing the National League last year. They aren't a team that typically spends a lot of money. They have a new temporary home this year that I hope, is true in MLB The Show as well. And their projected win total right now is fairly low. So the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Marlins, I think, are a possibility if I do still want to do a National League team. And I'm not really saying, like, I have to alternate leagues. But I typically look for something that's a bit different from the last team I did. Those three teams, though, stand out the most to me. I think that the White Sox would be a great choice. They're going to be a popular rebuild option for many. And I'll probably consider them. But I don't always gravitate toward the most obvious choice. I guess I did with the A's series. I certainly want a greater rebuild. And I'll have to dig into these, farm systems, their rosters, because I want the potential to draft and have our draft picks have a greater role in the series than they did in the cards. Yeah, I hear it's like a huge pain to get to the Rays, the Trop. Because isn't it in St. Petersburg? And I hear just like location-wise, it just stinks to get to. I don't know if it's in an awkward spot or if it's just like travel time for those in the Tampa area is what they really don't like. Over the middle. I'd say let them score, guys. I want to keep seeing our offense. Vikings just can't do it. That's a touchdown for Minnesota. There it is. So at the very least, we're going to have to run the clock out on them, which means 3 Joe Johnson runs probably. All right, onside kick for Minnesota. Don't recover it, though. One-handed. McCaffrey's been impressing us all stream. Here's Joe Johnson trying to run this game to the end. He only gets one. My cat wants out here in a second. Inside, not much there for Johnson. Out of timeouts now. And it's 3rd and 7. And now Kenny Pickett says, look what I can do. Luke McCaffrey to clinch it. Yeah, his roster spot is certainly safe. Good separation. 24 has been a problem in this game, and I feel like that's a nice play to put on film. GG's. Much better than going down 31-0. I give it 5 minutes before the cat wants back in. Nah, she's been in here all day. She's ready to eat. All right. Good day for the offense. Clean game from Chuck Johnson. Joe Johnson, 3.8 a carry. Trey Benson, 2.8. Cormier, 5.1. Broke a tackle. But the injuries are starting to become a factor, and we'll see what that means for the beginning of the year. What do I like for my second string quarterback? Just somebody who can come out and complete some of the easy stuff and not make a bunch of mistakes. So the conservative decision making, I can't have something like bad responding to pressure. 3 new injuries. Just someone who can kind of stabilize stuff and not cause a bunch of problems. All right. Trayvon Walker, Eli Arrington are going to miss the start of the year. Devon Lewis out 3 weeks. Heath Tuck out 2 weeks. Okay. Could be a challenge in week 1, missing those guys in a division game against Houston. I'm not even clicking that storyline. You're going to make me talk to the media again. All right, let's get... I want to see some playing time numbers so far, just so I can get an idea of some carries. All right, so Joe Johnson, 4.2. Cormier, 4.6. Trey Benson, 2.8. McCaffrey leads us in receptions, 3 touchdowns. And Chuck Dalton, he is racking up the tackles. He has 18. And because of injury, there's no one to get in his way now. You guys really want this storyline? The chat made me click that. Just ran into Jonathan Moore in the hallway, and it's pretty obvious that he showed up to camp out of shape. What? Yeah, I want to talk to him. Are you pranking me? I have not seen this one. Make sure you know his personality type before talking to him. You can find it in his player card. Okay. What type of personality does Jonathan Moore have? Unpredictable. Okay. Let's go see Jonathan Moore. We're gonna see him scarfing down some food in his locker, trying to hide it. I'm not out of shape, coach. I'm just hungry. Hey, what's going on with you? I heard you showed up out of shape. I just didn't put in the work in the off season like I have in the past. He's honest. You're too unpredictable and that hurts your preparation. So that's his personality. You need to be more consistent. I understand, coach. My personality gets in my way sometimes. I'll start the regular season strong. So he's motivated now. We communicated with him the right way. He's got a boost. Showing up out of shape is a bonus, actually. It makes him better. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, actually putting on like 10 pounds and losing speed, acceleration, and whatnot would be the level of immersion that I can only dream of. Yeah, you got to work on that run block power there, Briscoe. How are we upgrading Joe Johnson, guys? I'd like to have him be a scheme fit, even if it's only temporary, because I'm going to have to do more power upgrades. You know that. But for now, early in his career, maybe the scheme fit is a better call. Eventually, some receiving. I love, too, 99 injury. Very durable. Coach, I didn't work hard in the off season. I'm drastically out of shape. Would you change that about me? Coach, I got McDonald's sending me Christmas cards. Would you change that about me? All right, game 3, guys. We're going to see Joe Johnson get the start this time. Has a chance to show he's the lead back. I'm going to try demoing that idea I had. Johnson is the lead. Benson listed as the 2. And then third down back is Cormier, with Benson, the 2 there. And I just kind of want to see how this looks, if it does about what I want it to. And then I'm going to try to see if McCaffrey can still produce with the starters. I guess he's going to have to, because we're not going to have Arrington out there. So then in the slot, yeah, we'll have Tucker. What's unfortunate is, like, there's a lot of, like, halfback, running back, hybrid stuff I have in the playbook because of Arrington. I don't really want to do any of that stuff without him. So I would have to have a second version of the playbook that's like a no Arrington offense. And maybe I make that, because we're not going to have him to start the year. I don't really need Trey Tucker getting carries. If you do another off-season storyline, make sure to do the depth chart before the press conference. I lost 10 morale because I forgot to move the tackle I signed to first in the depth chart. So you're saying if I do that storyline and I want to, like, I'm going to say who the starter is to make sure the depth chart reflects that? It's a good call. No, Coach Keller would not change that about you. Thank you for watching the video and the stream. Am I dropping a bull vid today? Not today. I worked on the next episode, but it's probably not getting up until tomorrow, unfortunately. Let's play preseason game 3. Give us the ball first. Who do I think the Jags should hire in real life? I don't really know. Now that a few of the signings have happened, I don't have like a super strong lean towards anybody in particular. I'm interested if Liam Cohen gets an offer this year. Sounds like he's been building some buzz. I still wonder about another team giving Robert Saleh a chance. The Jags should hire Rex Ryan. I'm signing up for that. If I had the opportunity to call a pro football game or a college game, would I do it? It'd be hard to pass up, right? Taking on the Giants here, and their young quarterback, I believe, Derek Phillips. Oh, yeah, Joe Brady's getting interviews, isn't he? I thought I saw something about him and the Saints. Ooh, I thought we had him in the backfield there. Instead, it's going to be Cooper on the sack. I'll take that all day. When I consider doing 15-minute quarters, I want whatever gets us the amount of plays that matches the rest of the league. So quarter length, not super important to me. Third down and 16 as the pressure is put on again, and we sack him. Jonathan Moore. Out of shape, but in the backfield. Griff, what have you missed? Joe Johnson's look good. Cormier's look good. And we have some big injuries that are going to impact the start of this year. Looking at Trayvon Walker. Looking at Eli Arrington missing a few games. But right now, we're going to see Joe Johnson with the starters. And the chance to cement a starting spot. Up the gut we start. 2 yards, Joe Johnson. So I have the backfield set up. Johnson is the halfback 1. Cormier is the third down back 1. Benson is the 2 behind both. And I've adjusted the auto subs to hopefully bring in some rotation. Third down and 4 for Chuck Johnson. It's a first down that won't count, penalty marker. They get Trayvon Briscoe. I have a bowl of cashews with me. I remember that being your snack of choice. Yeah, that was for a lot of streams. I had so many of them, I kind of got tired after a while. Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau there got matched up with our rookie left tackle, and he won. Nice tackle. Malik Neighbors in motion. Shorts all over him. Interesting spot with J.D. Short in this series because he doesn't have a lot of interest in re-signing. So if we keep him around, it's going to probably have to be on a big overpay. We'll have to see if we can get a deal done and how the finances of this team's future look. because we have years of cheaper quarterback money right now with Chuck Johnson. It's still a ways before we consider a new deal for him. Johnson would be due a contract in year 6. So that'll be bridged across eventually. Can he prove that he's a $50+ million a year quarterback between now and then? Favorite NFL running back right now, probably Derrick Henry. He's been so good for so long. It's also been fun to watch Saquon with a better offense. No surprise, he had the type of season he did. I like watching Bucky Irving a lot in Tampa. I thought he looked phenomenal throughout the year. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs he's lightning in a bottle, man. He can strike anytime. What's so interesting right now is that I think, like, the running backs I just spoke of, I can't think of better teams for them to be on. Like, Derrick Henry, the perfect spot for him to be is in the same backfield with Lamar Jackson. With Saquon Barkley, yeah, a team with an excellent offensive line that, you know, has other pieces that keep the defense from being able to key on him. And even when they do, you know, he's got an excellent offensive line. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, he's got a great line as well, but there's also so many pieces to that offense that make him the most dangerous piece within it. And you can't just key on him. So we are in a rare spot right now where it's not just like bad team that picked high one year has one of the best running backs, but they're not getting the most out of him because it's not that simple. Like, all three of those guys are in the optimal spot right now. You could not upgrade their team out of what's available throughout the NFL. You could not move them to another team and get better results in my eyes. They are running it down our throat here. Touchdown, New York. Getting the ball out quick, neutralizing the pass rush. It was a good-looking drive for the Giants. Give us the ball back. Chuck is related to Andrew Johnson. I saw the DNA test. Can he lead our Jaguars the way Andrew Johnson led the year 6 Minnesota Gophers dynasty? One of my only seasons with under 10 interceptions in a season, where he took over for Andy McKenzie and Trey Tucker dropped the ball. The Andrew Johnson season is so legendary simply because I made less mistakes than 99% of my seasons. That we won something big that year. And he saved the season. All right, guys. We got to keep this drive moving along here. Johnson, where are you going? Into a sea of blue defenders. Please, faster drive. Well, that's one way to have a fast drive. Oh, Joey Sly. I mean, consistent as always. You know what it takes to miss extra points here in Madden? All right, run the ball. That's Brian Thomas in the backfield. What the heck is going on? I might have to make a V2 of our playbook where we just take out the receiver running stuff for when we don't have Arrington. Or I don't want to use him in that role. Come on, guys. We could look a lot better right now. Where's this one going to go? 3rd down and 19. Johnson intercepted almost. We kind of look like a really bad team right now without Eli Arrington. Not going to lie. Fake to Chuck Johnson, or from Chuck Johnson, who then sails it past Joe Wilder. We have -6 yards, apparently. Run the ball. Johnson out of trouble. He's pointing. He's looking for a block. This better be Joe Johnson. We have 2 tight ends. It has to be. Is that false start on Joe Johnson? We have a lot to work on. Easily. Didn't get it. I'm waiting for a watchable drive, boys. We've looked terrible in 2 of these 3 preseason games. Brian Thomas, our favorite running back, is in the backfield right now. Joe Johnson is in the slot. I don't like that he's taking these hits right now. A handoff. It is Benji Cormier, and that is one of our best plays so far. Two-minute drill, so might be more pass heavy. Johnson. Never found anywhere to go with the football. This pass rush is really a problem. The offensive line needs time. 3rd down and 11. It is again going to be short of the marker. Let's get the starting defense out there to see how they handle a 2-minute. By the way, there's a chance that if we got over 400 likes on the video that Chuck Johnson would play better. He responds. He's a very positive, reinforcement-oriented player. So if we could just experiment with that. Yeah, I'd say the best part of the preseason so far would have been like the Baxter interception, Luke McCaffrey, and a few choice plays from the running back rookies. All right, we're over 400 likes. I think Chuck Johnson is going to have a touchdown on our next possession. We're giving up 243 in the first half. Missing Trayvon Walker can't help. Missing Devin Lloyd can't help. Phillips completes. They're running out of time. Phillips They throw it away a lot, I've noticed, inside this, like, 20-second window. I was seeing Johnson do that in our Week 18 game, I think it was. Phillips is going to send this one to the end zone, though, and we just knock it away, Tyson Campbell. And they'll try a 57-yard field goal. Actually, 59. It is no good, and now we get a Hail Mary try. We know Johnson can put it up 60-plus yards in the air. And he'll do it again. It'll get there. Wide open. No! McCaffrey was behind everybody. It really encapsulates the preseason and how it's gone for us. All right, second half underway. They are all over Joe Johnson. Now we try Cormier, and there's a little bit more to work with now outside the numbers. If we could commit to this running game a bit stronger, I'd be happy. Holding, and we still got stuffed there badly. Are the offense? I said that with 400 likes, we're about to get a touchdown here, though. So have the faith, guys. Have some faith in Chuck Johnson. I guess that would have been the last drive, but it was McCaffrey's fault. Third down and 11. Give Johnson a look here. He has it knocked away from Brian Thomas. Not looking as good as we need to. I'm going to mix up the receivers again. Who did it this time? Another big touchdown to Malik Neighbors. He has 2 for 70 plus. Joe Johnson wrapped up after a short gain as it's 27-0. And it's not allowing me to back out right now. I don't know if it'll fix itself. Brian Thomas on the halfback receiver screen. Play action and intercepted by Kayvon Thibodeau. Can't say I love that. The Giants might just be the best team, though. There we go. We made a play. Okay, Devin Lloyd is out there. It's not him that's hurt. That's good. Second down and 12. Oh, boy. Lloyd gets beat. And Derek Phillips is going for almost 400 yards. We're supposed to add on to the excitement after the great Chuck Johnson season. Not this, guys. Let's hope when the games count, it does not look like this, or it might be a fast season. Yes, we made a play there. Nice job, Cisco. We can count on Andre Cisco. How about 3rd and 2? We get off the field here with some dignity. Intercepted in the end zone. Nice job. I tell you, Cross is good. There's a reason I brought him back. Let's get some points. Chuck Johnson has to spike the screen. Like, this defensive line is probably one of the best. There's Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and 2 other stars. I don't know who they are this deep into franchise. Like, usually it's Dexter Lawrence in the middle. I don't know who 97 in this case is. Floating. I hope that was a throwaway. Almost blocked it. I think that's running into the kicker. And it was 4th and inches, which makes that officially a top 5 play for us in the game. It was actually roughing. So the drive continues with the help of the refs. Trey Tucker has not had a good preseason. Cormier gets the carry, follows Briscoe. It's a couple. I move Briscoe to the left side, having Dominic Pooney on our right side with Joey Harper gives us 2 of the better potential run blockers there. Running away, Brian Thomas, and finally something to cheer about. Touchdown, Jaguars. There is more of the classic Chuck Johnson magic. He got drilled on that play. But at least we score. We need this to be a big year for Brian Thomas. And that could be the last plays we see of the starters. Now, I don't have the ability to back out right now, so the 4th quarter is going to kind of be up to the depth chart by default. Hopefully it gives us a couple watchable drives, though. Giants running Charbonnet into a wall. They have a star at tight end in this offense as well. I think the Giants are just pretty solid now. Get off the field here, guys. 3rd down and 6. Charbonnet gonna get the 1st down. Cisco, no. 417 yards passing. I know we're missing some guys, but this ain't right. Derek Phillips, he has a cannon on him there. You see him wearing that number 2 in the sleeve. You squint, you're like, that could be Drew Lock. But it's not. And it won't be. Backups are on. It's the 4th quarter. Over the middle. And complete at the 20. So, interested in how this early season unfolds. The narratives can change quickly. I don't know what to expect. It's a very unpredictably built team. So if we start 1-5 or 5-1, I think neither one should be all that surprising. But we're looking closer to the 1-5 start right now. Jaguars, I can't defend against the pass. Would you change that about me? As a matter of fact, I would, because this has been horrible to watch. I appreciate it, Colin. But hey, we have a plan for bad seasons. We have a plan for good seasons. None of it's going to drag out. So no matter what happens, it's all fine. And I do think, like, with how much hidden development talent and, like, just good developable players we have, that we're going to get there. It's just a matter of, can we do it this year? Will it come together enough? If we can navigate this early schedule with the injuries and the young roster and win games and be above 500 in the first half, then you're pretty hopeful. But I think it takes a complete season to really do what we got to do this year in the AFC. 10 or 11 wins has to be the target. It's going to be a tough path there. Who is the backup quarterback? This is Kenny Pickett. And Pickett's had mostly good moments, I'd say. Number 14 there, Davis, I think, has made the team, playing pretty well in preseason. And there is Craig Davis. Pickett. Yeah, I don't want Brian Thomas playing right now, but I can't back out to fix this stuff. Run the ball, guys. Looks like we have in the backfield Trey Benson. Second effort didn't really get him far. And now fourth down. Kenny Pickett throws complete. It's not all bad. All you need is a new defense and a real quarterback. Are you guys turning on Chuck that quickly? Swung out Merriweather, broke a tackle. It's a nice play. You guys can't turn on Chuck Johnson that quickly. That ain't right. Where's your loyalty? 2nd and 2, and Julian Singh to the 1. I missed the stream again because of work. How was the preseason gone, Kane? Overall, we have not looked great. The running backs have had moments, but we've been giving up a lot of points. The offense is not clicking the way we want them to. This looks like a team that could be in trouble if we don't turn things around quickly. And we also have injuries on top of not looking great. Trey Benson bowls his way in. All right, onside kick. And the Giants recover. Is that Victor Cruz? Don't think so. 459 yards of offense. Can you guys keep them under 5? If they score a touchdown on this drive, they'll pass it. 39 yards to go above 500 in a preseason game. More like it. We'll take a look at some stats when we're done. Probably save cuts for the next episode. Dropping tomorrow, by the way. I said I would drop that video tomorrow. Which means, do I end up doing the next Buffalo video Friday then? But yeah, if Chuck Johnson doesn't end up being our answer, say he has a bad year, loses his star development, then we start to maybe think about the draft. But right now, I'm still very hopeful. I loved what I saw last year. I think his traits play really well. I'm not going to be deterred by some bad preseason games. Some bad regular season games, maybe. All right, guys, one more drive, perhaps in the preseason. Now let's see what we can close with. I think Kenny Pickett's looked pretty solid. The traits are the main reason I signed him. Throws that one away. Pickett. Too tight of a window. Thoughts on the Vikings? You know, overall, I feel pretty good about the progress the team made, but now I think it's time to hand it over to JJ. Get serious in the offseason about getting stronger in the trenches. Defensive tackle, guard. Hopefully at a younger running back, I would like to see that. But yeah, I like the overall path they're on right now, but they have to start drafting impact players. And they don't have a lot of picks right now. They are going to probably get a compensatory 3 for Kirk Cousins. But as of right now, it's like a first-round pick and then like a fifth-round pick and some late ones. So they're going to be a prime trade-down candidate in the first round. But at the same time, they have some areas where they could really use a first-round caliber player. So we'll see how they attack that. It's a tough predicament when you don't have many picks. But they do have cap space. If they can use the cap space, then the pick situation isn't as dire. 40-14. Getting beat down. Yeah, we cannot be allowing this performance in the regular season. Derek Phillips might be good, but this is way too good of a performance. I think Cormier's numbers are going to be better than Joe Johnson's. But you will be seeing a lot of the rookie running backs here when we get to the regular season. Both of them. The starting strong safety. I'm going to hold that Johnson upgrade for the next video. We have Andre Sisco at free safety, Sergio Baxter at strong safety. I thought he looked pretty good down the stretch last year. But if our passing game continues to give up big gains, then we're going to have to look at some potential changes. Here are the stats. Actually, I think I can sim to the next week. Because that's the cut week, right? The preseason bye. I don't use sliders in this. All pro difficulty. I have field goal accuracy and injuries off of default. That's it, though. I don't think you need sliders for slow sim, unless you're looking for something different than what I get. But all pro. Nothing really to it. All right, so our numbers, our stats don't look very good. Chuck Johnson, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Very low yard per attempt. Lower completion percentage than you'd like to see. Joe Johnson, 3.8 yards per carry, while Benji Cormier had 5.9. Trey Benson, 2.1. So who gets the first carries of the season? The first carries may go to Cormier, but I think it's going to be pretty hot hand oriented when we get to the real games. McCaffrey will make the team. I think Caleb Davis also makes the team. Arrington had 7 catches. Joe Wilder, 3. Not a great preseason for him. Chuck Dalton will be a starter. Ezra Telfer will get a lot of playing time. Yeah, Jonathan Moore is going to keep getting a lot of snaps as well. So we're going to check our injuries and then just deduct 1 from all of these. And that's what our regular season situation is going to be. So Trayvon Walker misses the first 2 games. Eli Arrington misses the first 3. And Devon Lewis misses just 1. Heath Tuck will be good to go. But that's going to be a challenge. These are 2 really important players, and we did not look good without Arrington in those games. Trayvon Walker is an important player, even if he hasn't been our most productive pass rusher. So we are going to see Joe Johnson in week 1. Might not get the very first carries, like I said, but expect to see him out there. We want to get his development up. Touchdowns are valuable, 255 for that. Got to get him some rushing yards. He doesn't view Chuck Johnson, by the way, as a franchise quarterback yet. Maybe eventually. But we are not quite there as we sit right now. Get well soon, Eli Arrington. In the meantime, Brian Thomas. And then I think maybe Luke McCaffrey has earned more playing time than Trey Tucker. Had a better preseason. I think Tucker also plays and tries to keep a hold of a roster spot. Probably going to need our tight ends to pick up some slack early in the year. Got to make our offensive linemen some of our focus players. I think that getting some upgrades there is essential. Luckily, Joey Harper, he's close to 1. How about our left tackle? How's he looking? Jelani Swain. Not quite to his next upgrade, but we need to maximize his growth this year. But yeah, we'll see when the games get underway how this team performs. So if I check the depth chart here, Chuck Johnson over Kenny Pickett. Chuck Johnson should be the answer to that storyline. Yeah, you almost have to make your line the focus players because there just aren't a lot of ways. So why was Pickett the answer this year when Johnson wasn't last year? Nope. 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 Close that. I'm not continuing the storyline if that's how they're going to do it. I was told that was supposed to be overall rating, which would have been why Lawrence was the winner last year. I clicked the same options this year. I'm not getting more morale decreases because of weird things in the storylines. That is not an L I'm taking here. Yeah, I don't know when the autosave kicks in. I'm about to find out, though. But I think because I was mid-scenario, it won't... It automatically loads me back in. So what's the best way to handle this then? Just say yes and don't start Pickett? If Kenny Pickett has to play, he's going to be great. At least I don't have to go to the media. Media interview practice sideline. I'm going to skip that one. Because last time they made me go to the media, I thought. So I just get a boosted Kenny Pickett then. And if Johnson gets hurt, we'll be like, wow, remember that? So yeah, I'm giving Cormier as our first round pick, gets the first drive or two, but we are going to see Johnson play, and we'll just see who ends up playing more, you know. I liked what I saw from Johnson, even if his stats weren't better. I don't think he had, great blocking on a lot of his runs. I think his 2 or 3 best runs were better than Cormier's 2 or 3 best in terms of just like looking like a dynamic running back with the cuts and some of the movement. Thoughts on Ben Johnson to the Bears? Happy for him, but worried the Bears might start to improve. I mean, it's exciting because he's a great offensive mind, and they need, a huge offensive overhaul there. But I don't know. It's not always as easy as putting a guy in a spot and everything falling into place. Like when you can run an offense where you have the line the Lions have and the playmakers they do, like there's nothing to hold you back. You're not planning around anything. I think a lot of people would love to be the OC of the Lions. But how many want to call the shots for the Bears? There's a lot of work to do there to get them to look competent. So they're going to have a good offseason and build up that line a lot more. Who's your NFL team? I'm a Viking fan. Which means I'm basically doomed. All right, so here's our team going into week 1. How do we feel about things? No Arrington. Could lead to some problems. No Trayvon Walker, but we should have, still a really good front 4. The secondary looked really bad in the preseason, but I don't think they're going to be bad at all when we get to the real thing. You do wonder, just like the changes at linebacker, if that impacts anything. Because Aluakin was good in coverage even last year. I think Bond can be solid, but will he actually be? I'm seeing a lot of good morale here on the defensive side. On offense, I'm also seeing good morale. So have we corrected that? Johnson is sitting at 50 morale. How'd we fix that? Oh, did that scenario give us the 10 back? For some reason? Because I didn't anger the team, I honored the position battle? That's a big plus. Because the morale hit was kind of like a dark cloud hanging over the team. But that's been negated now. No one has bad morale. If we're going to have bad morale, it's because we're just a regular bad team, and I can live with that. We're just lulling the Texans to sleep, okay? We lost Week 18 last year. We looked bad in the preseason. For this game, the Monday night opener, when we shock the Houston Texans. Then we take on the Broncos, get the Bears, Steelers, Cowboys, Texans again. We play both games by week 6 this year. Big position run here, or division run, week 6 through 8. We close against the Raiders, non-division game. We face the NFC North, Vikings and Packers, both down the stretch. Vikings game I know will be tough. That's the only team, though, we look good against in preseason. And I guess, thankfully, we don't play the Giants or the Saints, two teams that absolutely rocked us out of nowhere. Yeah, it's a young team. I could see us regressing possibly, but showing good signs by the end of it. Let me take a look at any free agents that could be intriguing here. You know, without Arrington, do you make a move for a receiver to play in week 1? I'm not sure in this overall tier that a move like that makes sense. Be kind of interested in having Jalen Hyatt. Couple good tackles who were available, but I think we have to just ride it out, you know, with the rookie. Unless the Saints cut that McCree guy. Yeah, I wonder if they still have him on roster. They probably do. He was good enough to get snaps with their 2s. Yeah, he's their 4th receiver. Alex McCree. Those ratings, I kind of like where they are. Obviously, he's not the fastest guy. Acceleration helps make up for it. These are just preseason stats in here, by the way. He torched us and did nothing else. In comparison to our backup receivers, obviously we got McCaffrey, who looked good and has that same playmaker archetype. I'd say McCaffrey's ratings are definitely better. There's a chance I put Tuck on the injured reserve because I don't know how easy it's going to be to get down to 53 with all the injuries on here. Just keeping those guys on roster. So if I IR him, he could return, I think, later on in this season. Probably going to do that. Then I think Caleb Davis makes the team. And then if you guys want a sneak peek of our, before I head out of here, the re-signings for this year. So Brian Thomas, set to be a free agent. I think we should just sign him basically when we get the chance to, because this number could only go up. Tyson Campbell does want to return. He's a free agent. Curtis Easley looking at about 10 per year. Josh Hines-Allen. at 31 years old. Probably wait to see how regression hits him before offering 25 plus a year. Trey Tucker is a free agent, Jerry and Jones. Then you get into more of the role players and backups. But yeah, like I said, we traded away 3 players that were going to be free agents, so that makes things look a little bit cleaner ahead for next year. But that is going to do it for the stream, everybody. A rocky ride here in this preseason, and injuries that are going to affect the way year 4 begins. But we'll see how the journey with the Jaguars continues with week 1 coming your way. I'm looking to get that video up tomorrow. And we'll continue on with the Jaguars franchise with a brand new year. Thank you all for coming out to the stream today. I will see you again when I run through another one of these, I'm sure, possibly in the next preseason. We might start doing it for every single one, unless I have like a time conflict and can't do it. Because I like doing these streams in a way where it doesn't impact the actual episode rollout. It's just considered extra. And that's why I did it again here this time. But that's it for today, everybody. Take care, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.